You're with Julian on the Brown Note, and I wanted to a little bit about Gladys, Joan of Arc, Queen of our hearts, Saint Gladys Berejiklian. I started this the YouTube side of this show in probably August last year with the driving anger that our news media in Australia wasn't telling us the truth about anything. The economy particularly, and also was letting the Liberal Party get away with murder, endless corruption, appalling performance in things like the economy, and that we had the most homogenised and pro-Liberal, pro-government news media on earth. As far as this being this wall of pro-Liberal media, I gave up my subscription to the Sydney Morning Herald, which was a wonderful newspaper back in the early 2000s, and is just now even more slavishly pro-liberal than the Murdoch presses, who actually hold them to more account. So that's why I started this show, but somebody else that was actually doing proper news media in Australia was FriendlyJordies, and I didn't come to his YouTube channel until very late in life, only about a month ago. Since then, I've discovered that there are people out there actually who are really angry at what the news media is in Australia. He did a piece on yesterday, about Gladys Berejiklian, and he destroyed her. And a lot of his stuff's quite funny, but this was not funny. It was pure bile and anger, and I loved it. I saw some journalists come out and say, how can he go on about how the news media didn't do their job and let her get away with murder when he's relaying all the stories we printed? The thing is, Australian news media, you relay the stories and completely forget about them. We've had endless state and federal corruption for the last couple of years. Some of the most aberrant behaviour by politicians in history with regards to abuse and sexism and cronyism and inept performance in government. But you let them get away with it. You might report something once, but you can't ask us to give you respect for breaking these stories when after a year of these stories you turn around and say that she is still a saint. Have you seen some of the covers that she's done in the last month? She is a saint. Two of them were for affiliates of the Sydney Morning Herald. One is this horribly obsequious piece with this awful picture of her, but another one is saying about how she's the real female heroine, not Jacinda Ardern. It should be her that gets all of the kudos from the world because she is basically the greatest woman on earth. This is a woman that just went through. This is why the media don't get a free pass here for breaking stories. There is no Labour politician in this country that could have gone through the affair scandal with Daryl Maguire that Gladys did and get front covers like she still gets. That would have wiped out any Labour politician in this country. Her opposite number at Labour, Luke Foley, or was it he was there, I think, for her first election win. He resigned because he apparently pinched a girl's bottom in a club. She's accused of having this clandestine affair with a man that's been kicked out of politics for unbelievable multi-million-dollar corruption, which she is on the phone saying that she doesn't need to hear about. He allegedly had a key to her house so he could come and go as he pleased, and regularly bragged about all the money he was making. A Labour guy can get involved in a drunken misdemeanour where he apparently pinched someone's backside or was a bit rough at a function, and he quits that day. This hasn't touched her. This is multi-million-dollar corruption. She was found to have spent $250 million on marginal seats and destroyed the paperwork. That would have taken down any Labour politician, but she is still being canonised. I believe they've sent the paperwork through to the Pope already. She then later in the year said that it's fine to do that. She actually made the case for pork barrelling. Her friends, as the Friendly Geordie piece has said, are some of the worst people on earth. Daryl Maguire is a terrible person. And the other one, Gareth Wars, has child sex allegations against him. These are some of her closest friends. She refuses to denounce. Gareth Ward has got some terrible allegations about child sex allegations that Gladys knows about and has refused to denounce him for. She won't make him resign. These are the people around her. And I thought it was an interesting point that he made, which was she's so compromised that she is now such a liability because people go cap in hand to her and they know so much about her shenanigans. She just says yes to everyone. But everyone makes out like she's this embodiment of a powerful, independent woman. No, she's not. She's like something out of the Handmaid's Tale. She's this timorous mouse. She's not a strong, independent woman like Christina Keneally or Tanya Plibersek or Penny Wong. She looks like she should be in the Handmaid's Tale, in some convent somewhere. She's got no personality. All she's done is she's an even more smiling assassin than Mike Baird. And despite going to the last election claiming that she wouldn't privatise another thing after Mike Baird had sold off absolutely everything that wasn't bolted down, she's done it even worse. And the media kiss her backside like she's some saint. And the Gladys glow, where her popularity amongst the public even excuses the terrible performance of the rest of her government. There are so many corruption scandals stacking up in the state of New South Wales, and yet she may as well have started the job yesterday, given the level of a clean slate that she has. So, well done, Friendly Geordies. There isn't anything that any Liberal politician can do in this country where the media will care or the public won't stop voting for them. So, Jodie McKay is obviously out the door at Labour as a leader. Labour need to appoint leaders, as I've said millions of times, that can cut through an unending wall of Liberal media in this country. And without that, they're nothing. Because it doesn't matter what Gladys does. She has still got a halo above her head.